Welcome to LinkedIn Life Live. Today, we are going to talk about something I think is near and dear to most people's hearts. It's how non-writers create content. We're going to talk about how you can create content even if you're not a writer. So one of the things you have to know, though, is before you can create content, you have to figure out what the people want to hear. We call it social listening. We want to write what we want to write about. But if that's not what our target audience wants to hear, then our content is going to ring hollow and it's not going to be really thought leadership. So what you want to do is find out what it is that your target audience cares about. Like I said, we call that social listening. And Bob's going to start out with a great way for you to discover what your target audience cares about. Take it away, Bob.
Yeah, exactly. So, just like Bill said, a great way that non-writers, and we know there are a ton of them out there, to use what Bill introduced as social listening to gauge what your audience and, particularly your clients think about a particular topic is to simply ask them. So LinkedIn gives us a great way to do this with its polling feature, where you guessed it, you can set up a poll about any topic you want to ask your audience. Now, polls are very simple, especially for people who really don't know what kind of content to even share. So it goes beyond being a non-writer. It goes to, what do I do? A poll can tell you exactly what your audience is interested in. Polls are also a great engagement generators. Say that 3 times fast, because generally people will want to expand on their answers in the comments section of the poll. So if you're on your main feed page and you click on start a post, first of all, don't get nervous. Click on start a post. You can do it. At the bottom of the window, there's a create a poll option. From there, you can enter the information in, ask the question, and supply up to 4 answers. Now, what I do is I come up with the question, and then I have 3 answers, with the 4th answer being other. Please share and comments. And that's a great way to get engagement going and to really have people talk about exactly what it is they want to find out from the poll, essentially. So you also really get to figure out what the priorities are of your network by polling too, which makes it so much easier to start specific conversations around what matters to them specifically. So polls are a great way to really, put your toe into the LinkedIn pool when it comes to sharing content, and 2, really figuring out what it is that they want to hear. Because if you're writing stuff that no one wants to hear about, why are you doing it? So next, we're going to talk about a subject that's really near and dear to my heart, because we are all geniuses in what we do. So Sally Joe is going to talk a little bit about actually capturing your genius, so you know what to write about, and you're also not all discombobulated when you get in front of the keyboard and you have no idea what to do. So Sally Joe?
Yeah, so capturing your genius. And I'm going to expand on that a little bit and saying not just capturing your genius, but capturing your prospects and customers' genius as well. So how do you do that? Well, it's interesting when you think back on conversations you've had, maybe some blogs you've read, any kind of media or any conversation where you were like, wow, that was great. Did my customer or prospect also consider that an aha moment? And if they did, log it. And then, there is your subject to be able to create a video. You don't have to write anything. You just have to sort of think about it. And as Bob said, you're the subject matter expert. I'm sure that there's great nuggets that you have to share around that topic. Really easy to create that video, get it up on LinkedIn, ask for comments, and try to get more feedback. It's a great way to engage with your prospects and customers. Again, make sure in capturing that genius, again, make it your genius, but make sure that it's something that they care about as well.
Love that. You can put up raw video for sure, but also you can use that as edited video. To throw out just on a side note, this is what we do every week. Our goal is to capture our genius, right? So we come on to these once a week with a topic that we share with you. And then we take this, and when it comes to me, we'll talk about it a little bit more, but exactly to Sally Jo's point, which is perfectly said, is we can now have this video and then we break it up into little mini videos and leverage it throughout the whole week. So I love that tip.
Yeah. We get so much mileage out of doing just this show. It's amazing.
Now to Bill's tip.
Now it's my turn. So Sally Jo talked about turning the video camera on and talking. So you're basically doing a monologue and capturing your genius. Another great way to capture genius is capture other people's genius and interview them. So invite them to a Zoom meeting and record the Zoom meeting and interview them. So who can you interview? Remember, you're not interviewing them with a pitch, you're interviewing them for value. You want to ask questions that will lead your clients and your prospects to see the solution that you provide. So clients are the first ones that you can interview. What better people to talk to than the people that you've already knocked their socks off, and they're going to tell everyone how great and how wonderful not only you are, but your company is, and how you're able to help them. You can interview your prospects. This is a great way to get back in front of them and find out what it is that they care about. And then in finding out what they care about, you can find out how to reach that need for them. You can also interview people within your own company. You know, we all can't know everything, right? So you can find subject matter experts within your company. For example, I know very little about software sales and channel sales. Sally Jo is our subject matter expert, right? Mm-hmm. So you can find people who knows in your company certain parts of your business that those niches that you can then interview. You're teaching your prospects and your clients more about it. You're learning more about it so that you can then be the subject matter experts. And then, so what do? You've got this video now. And as Bob was saying, you can use this in multiple different ways. And one of the ways is because we're talking about written content, right? And I know what you're all thinking, like you're talking about video. What does that have to do with written content? Bryn, what does it have to do with written content? Tell them.
Thanks, Bill. When you do these videos that Sally Jo and that Bill talked about, if you're doing them in Zoom, there's a little check mark that says, I want the transcription. So we get the transcription from all of our videos, and then we leverage that in lots of different ways. So you can clean that up or have someone else clean it up and make it a blog post. You can grab one-liners, and boy, do we have the one-liners, right? We can grab one-liners, from them and make like images. You can grab a whole bunch of text from, a certain section and put it in word art and create a really cool picture with lots of different words. There are so many things you could do. You could even take some of the content and create a poll about, hey, we had a whole bunch of different opinions. Which one do you think is the most important or the most relevant? We actually take the video and we put it in our website under blog posts, and then we have the raw transcription underneath it. So we're getting the search engine optimization around it, but we're not doing a whole lot of work on the writing side. So there's so much that you can do. And by the way, if you don't have a place for a blog post, you don't have a website, you can blog right inside of LinkedIn. So you can upload your video if it's under 10 minutes right into LinkedIn and use that inside of the blog post with the raw transcription. You can put it into YouTube. So there's lots of places that you can house that. And then if you want it as a blog post, feel free to use that inside of articles inside of LinkedIn. The native video, last thing, you can upload that native video if it's between 6 seconds and 10 minutes. You can upload that and then take some excerpts out of the transcription and put it in the text when you share that video. The bottom line is, even if you're a non-writer, there are such amazing opportunities to get content out in front of your buyers that can have a real impact on them without ever having to do any of the writing. It's just capturing your genius and making sure that we are sharing content that they care about.
What's really important is understanding what it is your clients want to hear, not what you want to write about. Right. So social listening is so important that we're going to have a 2-part series coming up really soon. We're going to talk about 8 different points around social listening. So make sure you're following us on LinkedIn and on YouTube, and be connected with all of us so that you can find out more about when we're going to be back with how to socially listen on LinkedIn.